Hello, everybody. This is Chris Miller from the Coach's Box, Call Like We See It podcast, and this is our SEC preview for Thank God for Football Game Day. This SEC preview, hey, it's brought to you by Pepsi. I'm drinking one right now, but whenever you're gearing up for game day, hanging out with friends, or just need that perfect, refreshing break, nothing, and I mean nothing, hits the spot quite like an ice-cold Pepsi. It's bold, it's crisp, and it's always refreshing. Pepsi is the taste that fuels the moment. So crack open a Pepsi, just like I did, and make sure that you're there for games this Saturday. I'm telling you right now, we're gearing up for another really great matchup. Just a lot of great matchups in college football. The SEC we're slowly getting to that point, especially as we're getting into SEC play. A lot of the schools are starting to play each other. Some of them haven't even played conference games yet. Now, we currently have some teams that are playing, and there's some pretty decent games that are shaping up around the SEC that we're not even going to talk about. I do believe that when we see the SEC from our standpoint here in Missouri, I mean, we're really excited for Mizzou. Obviously, it's their homecoming this week. They're playing UMass. That's a win. Ahmad Hardy, Heisman hopeful, but nobody in the national media cares. Kentucky and South Carolina could actually turn out to be a pretty good game. It just depends on if both teams kind of show up to play. South Carolina needs to probably run the ball, but I digress. Notre Dame and Arkansas. I'm not as sold on Notre Dame right now. I don't see how they're 1-2 and they're ranked. Arkansas is not great, but they have a lot to play for because if they lose a couple more games, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a coaching change. Other than that, not a lot of other great games except for the ones that we're going to go ahead and preview for you guys right now. So without further ado, our first matchup out of the three that we picked this week, we have Auburn, who is unranked. They're 3-1 and 0-1 in the SEC. They're coming off a really tough loss in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma being the SEC newcomer, but they're going to number 9 A&M. A&M is undefeated. It's A&M's first SEC matchup of the year. A&M comes in at this point in time. They're 6.5-point favorites. Auburn's trying to prove that obviously last week's game, it was tough. Going into Norman is tough anyway. It doesn't even matter. But they're trying to prove they're not a pretender. It's going to be tough. Jackson Arnold got sacked 10 times last week, which was crazy. But at the same time, Auburn has a chance. I mean, if Auburn has a chance if Jackson Arnold can bounce back. The only problem is A&M's pretty good. Marcel Reed is a dynamic player, especially in both facets, whether he's running or throwing the ball. So that's going to be an interesting game to pay attention to. I don't think Auburn can win, but they could make it close. And again, they've got a lot to play for to show that they're not a pretender. And they don't really want to fall to 0-2 in the SEC either. Our next matchup, I think, is probably a pretty good one. It usually is, but it's not the Nick Saban era. We have number 17 Alabama. They're at number 5 Georgia. Any other time in the history of the last 15 years, this game is one of the biggest ones. Georgia comes in right now. They're favored by 2.5 points. Alabama's 2-1. This is their first SEC game. Georgia's 3-0. They're 1-0 in the SEC. Always a big time game. Kirby Smart is one of the best coaches in the country. He's obviously one of the best recruiters, and Georgia is pretty good. Okay. So again, we're going to see what Georgia's all about this week. Gunnar Stockton had his best game of the season against Tennessee, threw for over 300 yards. Ty Simpson, he's got to show up after he had a rough start against Florida State. Obviously, in the only game they lost this year, had a good showing against Louisiana Monroe, who nobody cares about, and Wisconsin, who's not the same Wisconsin that they used to be. So Alabama is trying to show that they're trending up, and if they can steal a win in Georgia, it would be huge. This game is always close because of the two and their rivalry. I see Georgia's winning this game, but it's the SEC. You never know what could happen. And our final preview game, I do believe is the best one, is number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss. It's crazy, though. ESPN Bet has Ole Miss favored by 1.5. So that's going to be, it's one of those games you might just lose money here. LSU is 4-0. And overall, they're 1-0 in the conference. Ole Miss is 4-0 and 2-0 in the conference. So both ranked teams, both undefeated. The only thing is, Ole Miss backup, Trinidad Chambliss, I always butcher this, he's the guy who has to show up big for Ole Miss in place of the injured starter Austin Simmons. So will he be able to pull off a major upset at home? Again, both teams undefeated. How's this going to play out? LSU, they've been picked as possible national champ. I mean, this is big. This is college football playoffs implications. I'm going to say right now, if I had to pick, I'd probably go with Ole Miss, just because I'm not 100% sold on LSU. I could be wrong. LSU might throttle them, but I'm going to go ahead and have the sneaky pick for the upset right here. It should be a good game. Obviously, if the line is sitting there that close, and you're talking about the number 4 and the number 13 team in the country, I mean, this could be a good one. So again, some really good matchups. And as the year goes on and we get deeper into the season, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to have some great SEC matchups, especially if some of the top teams get knocked off by some of the other teams here. And then all of a sudden, you just never know what's going to happen. It's SEC football. We really never do. It's hard to predict. So I know went on a little bit long here, but at the same time, great football to talk about. I'm Chris Miller from the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. Tune in next week for another preview for Thank God for Football Game Day. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see you guys, and I can't wait to watch these games. You all have a great one. We'll see you next week.
It's brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.